So here it is, Thursday night. The sun is setting. You probably can't see it, but way out there is Mount St. Helens. And when I was a little kid, that mountain blew up. That volcano blew up. And everybody, they had scientists there and they were monitoring it. And who would have believed a mountain that was just like any other mountain, just sitting there, would blow up like that. And here we are, Thursday, June 3rd, 2021. And with any luck, AMC stock is going to blow up. And we will become hopefully millionaires, if not thousandaires. We'll take that. We'll take 6 figures in cash. We don't know what's going to happen. We just know that it's a possibility. We've already seen this thing go up, what, $30?
Yeah.
$30, $20 in minutes. And if you have enough shares, that adds up. So, and once that starts happening, people jump on it and it just feeds it until all the hedge fund managers that sold it short are forced to buy their stock back, forced to do it at no matter what the price. And that's why people talk crazy, like $100,000 a share. Will it get there? We don't think so, because that just seems insane. It could happen. We'll be happy with $1,000 a share. And if we can get out, great. And keep a little bit in and maybe cash in on those 6-figure amounts, but we'll see. But anyway, baby, I love you. If this happens, it's going to be amazing. But we'll see. And there it is. June 3rd. You have your phone?
No, they haven't.
Oh, well, anyway.
Okay.
All right. Here's the sun. Hopefully that's the sun setting on the life that we knew. So sorry for the overly dramatic music there. When you make these videos, I use royalty-free music. So you edit the video and then I try to find a song that, goes well with it. And I heard this song and I said, it's a little over the top, but I like it. So welcome to the AMC Stock Story podcast, especially if this is your first time. Listen, this podcast is simple. I try to be honest. And it's just really my thoughts on being a AMC investor. I don't give advice. I don't do charts. Don't have due diligence. And there's not going to be any fancy slideshow with this. This is just the podcast. I'm posting it on YouTube as well, in case for the people that have never heard it or tried to just make it easy if they want to hear one episode. But normally it's just on Apple Music. It's free. There's just Google it or go to Apple Podcast or. But if you just Google Russell Corey AMC Stock Story podcast, you should be able to find it one way or another. And I'll give a brief history. I've been doing it since July 2021, over 100 episodes. But I'll give you a recap as well. So if you just want to start from here, you can. The last time I did an episode, it's been a while, was August of 2022. And it was on the eve of Ape. And that episode was, I wanted to name it "Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Ape," but that was long. I just called it Big Bad Ape. So who was afraid of the Big Bad Ape? No one. Leading up to it, there wasn't this run up in the price. Shorts weren't covering, and that made me really nervous. I'm like, they don't seem to be scared about the release of Ape, and that was kind of an ominous sign because, when Ape came out, it was devastating. We had been averaging down our cost. We bought a lot of shares between $10 and $15. So when on the eve of Ape, as AMC went up to $25, we were in the black again. We could have sold and gotten out, but we held. We wanted to see what was happening. But if we did, we wouldn't have gotten the Ape shares, and we wanted to see what was going to happen. Now the Ape story has yet to be written, but it was devastating. But can I tell you something? I've been buying Ape lately. We'll talk about that later, but as much as I hate it, as much as I hate what it did to the AMC share price, I've been buying it. When it's at $1 and change, I've been buying it. We'll talk about that later. Let me give you a quick recap so you don't have to go listen to all 100 episodes. So the very first episode talked about the first real kind of investing I did, and I believe it was in 2012. And I bought some Facebook stock. Facebook stock had come out a few months before, and people were kind of dogging it at this point. It was like at $20. And I had a Roth IRA, mostly with mutual funds, but I had $1,000 of cash sitting in that Roth IRA. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to take $600 of that $1,000 because I didn't want to invest all of it. That would be reckless, right? And I bought $600 worth of Facebook stock, and it got me 30 shares at about $20 a share. And of course, a year later, that Facebook stock had doubled. And my wife said, you should buy more Facebook stock. And I said, why would I buy it now? It already doubled. And I never bought it again at those low prices. And of course, it went recently, it went up into the 300s. That's when I sold my shares. But the joke was on me because I sold those Facebook shares and I bought AMC kind of near the top. And so that went down on me as well. But at least I got out before Facebook, took its dump, right? The second episode was about GameStop. And I was just, like I said, I wasn't on Wall Street bets. I wasn't doing any investing or anything. But I heard the story like everybody else, how GameStop stock all of a sudden shot up to $400. And all these people made a lot of money. Some people got caught, obviously, but a lot of people made money. And I thought, wow, good for them. I wish I could have gotten in on that. And 5 months later, or in May, I heard that AMC might do what GameStop did. And I asked my wife, I said, hey, do we want to try to get in on this? And she said no. And I said, all right. The next day, AMC doubled in price. And I said, that's it. We're getting in. So I got involved. This was before the June 2nd run-up. I got involved. I was telling people I know you got to get involved. You got to buy AMC. It's going to be life-changing money. My dad invested money. My father-in-law invested money. And some friends invested money. And it did fairly well. It was in the 50s and 60s for a few weeks. But then it started to go down. And in the podcast, these are what those other episodes are about, just watching it go down into the 40s, into the 30s. It did go back up to 50 a couple times, but we still held. We didn't sell. And then, of course, it went down in December 2021 to $25. And I remember at the time, I was making deliveries for Instacart. I called my wife and I apologized. It was at $25, and I said, I'm so sorry I did this to our family. That I can't believe I made these decisions. And I said, we're kind of stuck right now. Hopefully it'll go back up. But I felt really bad that AMC was at $25. And then it went down to $15, $10. But at that point, that's when I started buying more and averaging down. And I said, if it goes back up, this can make up for, the losses we have at the top. And then, of course, on the eve of Ape, it had gone all the way back to 25. And we were, like I said, we were back in the money. And then, of course, it collapsed after the release of Ape. And there's hope now, though, a little bit. You're starting to see all these rumors about Amazon and, Disney possibly helping out. So we'll see. But this is a quick history of the podcast. I got into it in May of 2021, investing in AMC. And I was watching Matt Kors, What Trade Trades, Master Investor. And I thought, I'm a writer. I'm a filmmaker. I'd like to get in on this too. I think this is going to be a big story. And I want to help capture it. But I don't know anything about, the stock market. I can't do a podcast like these guys were doing. And then I searched to see if there were any podcasts on what was going on. And everything was YouTube. It was all YouTube. So I said, you know what? I actually had a podcast called Before and After the Movie. And it was a movie review podcast where the first half of it, I would review the movie before I had seen it. Did I think I was going to like it? Why I thought I might like it? Why I thought I might not like it? Then I would go see the movie and I would record the second half of the podcast. Did I actually like it? Was I surprised? But I had stopped doing that and it was just sitting there. And I thought, you know what? Let me rebrand that podcast as the AMC Stock Story. So sometimes if you see the AMC Stock Story, web address or something, it might say before and after the movie. And that's why. I wanted to document what it was like, being an AMC investor, hopefully during the MOAS. I thought it was going to be 10 episodes when I started it. And that would be it. We're over 100 now. And it really has become my therapy to talk about, what it's like to go through this. And if anybody out there was listening to it and it helped them, then great. But then in August of 2020, I had broken my arm and I was laid up, and AMC stock had gone down again. And we wanted to keep holding our AMC position, so we were looking for ways to cut costs. And I couldn't justify paying for the podcast subscription again. So I could still keep the podcast up. I just wouldn't have the unlimited storage for episodes that I had when I was paying for the hosting. So I went back to the free podcast, and there was no space to post new episodes. I would have to delete old episodes to put new ones on, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to stay in place. So that's the way it was. That's why I haven't recorded any new episodes since August. Also, I'll be honest, those episodes would have been depressing. I was, very frustrated and upset. And, they would have been a lot of fun to listen to. Well, anyway, once all these, Disney buys, the rumors started about Disney and AMC. I did not originate those. Those were going around. But when I heard them, as a former Disney employee, I thought, this makes a lot of sense. And I started to think of all the things Disney could do with these AMC theaters. So now that, I released my video, and then the key thing was there's a Black Friday sale on podcast hosting, and it was a deep discount, and I could justify with everything going on with my Disney buys AMC videos and this deep discount, I could justify paying for hosting again. And so now I have unlimited storage for another year. So I'll be doing some more podcasts. Now, let me introduce myself. My name is Russell Corey. I'm a writer, filmmaker. I used to work for Disney for 2002 to 2015. We started a family, my wife and I, and so we moved to Oregon. So I had to leave Disney for that. I would love to have stayed working for Disney, but Southern California was too expensive for us to buy a home in, and also the public schools weren't so great. So we moved to Oregon to be closer to my wife's family, and we could afford to buy a house and send our kids to public school. And so far, that's worked out. But I'm kind of a Ralph Cramden. I always have these great ideas, and most of the time, they always fail. But when the Disney AMC rumors started, I thought, I think I could do a good video on why this is a good move and Disney should do this. So I edited the video together, and I posted it a week ago on Sunday afternoon. And it did really well. It got a good traction, which I was so happy about. And that night I was in bed, with my wife, and I was reading comments and replying to people. And I saw this one comment that, hey, this idea, is either kaput or it just accelerated now that Bob Iger's back. And I thought, wait, what's this commenter talking about? I never said Bob Iger was back. And then I thought, well, I don't know, is he really back? So I checked Twitter, and sure enough, minutes before the news had broke that Bob Iger been brought back as Disney CEO. So that was crazy. So the next day I did a follow-up video to, try to say, wow, what, to address that. I don't know what's going to happen. I'd like to see Disney buy AMC. It'd be interesting to see if it would cause like a Volkswagen squeeze or it could hurt the MOAS, and it could technically be bad for, apes. I don't know for sure, but I just want to see something happen. But I think if you ever seen the movie Chinatown with Jack Nicholson from the 70s, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, I think. And there's a scene where John Huston is this really powerful man, and Jack Nicholson is a private investigator trying to figure things out. And John Huston says to Jack Nicholson, you may think you know what's going on, but you don't. And that's kind of how I feel, that I have my little theories here that I'm doing why this is a good idea, but I do not know what's going on behind the scenes. There's talk that Apple might, buy Disney, which I don't, would take AMC out of the picture probably. There's talk that Disney, got caught up in the FTX collapse. So who knows what's going on? It was strange the way things were handled with Iger coming back, so sudden that it just that's not normally how these transitions happen. So listen, I've enjoyed speculating, making these videos, and I've enjoyed they've gotten traction and people have enjoyed watching them, and I get a lot of nice supportive comments, and that means the world to me. I just watched the Masked Investor TMI, he did a review of my video and he had nice things to say about it. And that I can't tell you how special that was. Like I said, I've been watching TMI from the beginning when I got in on AMC, and I used to watch him. He would be on before Matt Kors, and then when Matt Kors would come on, he would, be like, all right, well, I'm signing off because everyone's going to go watch Matt Kors. So it's been fun to watch him grow. But I know what it's like, with these YouTubers, and being recognized. I'll go in chats, and if they, say your name or say, make a comment about you, it always feels good to be recognized. Phil For Real, he was one of the first ones to recognize the video, so that meant a lot seeing that. So I've enjoyed, outside of Saturday Night Live, I don't really watch a lot of TV. What I watch is AMC YouTubers. That's been my life for the past, year and a half, watching all these guys. So to hear them talk about it and mention the channel, it's been really special, and I appreciate that. So, I don't know. What do I think is going to happen? I really don't know. I hope something happens, and I hope it's good for the apes. I really do. I don't, the MOAS, I want it to happen. A lot of people have been commenting, this is bad for the MOAS, if Disney buys AMC. And I think, what else is bad for the MOAS? Aron was bad for the MOAS. The SEC was bad for the MOAS. Reality was bad for the MOAS. The market makers were bad for the MOAS. There's a lot of things, unfortunately, that were bad for the MOAS. I still hope it happens. Trust me, I still hope it happens. But I can't, we have such a large investment. I signed up for this, but my kids didn't sign up for it. My wife didn't necessarily sign up for it. This can't keep going on forever. I don't want to have this size of a position on AMC for the next 2 years waiting for the MOAS to happen. So, we're going to do the best we can. I hope it does. I hope it goes up and rips faces off. Let's see. As far as the channel, I still have a few ideas on, on the whole concept of Disney buying AMC. But I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I've made my case why I think this is a good idea. A lot of people agree with it. Some people don't. I'm not going to keep, for the next year make these videos because I don't know what's going to happen. But I do want to keep making videos about, what it was like to work for Disney, what it's like to be an AMC stockholder. So I'll keep making videos, but I'm not going to every day be trying to hammer home like why Disney should buy AMC. So, you might see more videos just on, like I said, being a Disney employee, being an AMC stockholder. And the funny thing for me is it has getting traction with the channel right now. It feels a little bit like a garage band. Like if you have a local scene of, up and coming bands, and it's just like, you have some buddies and you're musicians, you're like, hey man, let's make our own band, and you go and you start performing, and maybe you get a little bit of a following. And then some of the more established bands, reach out and recognize you. It has that kind of feel like, hey, just form a garage band and just start playing shows and see how it happens. So it feels special to be a part of that and connect with some of the other YouTubers that I've been watching for so long. So that's always special. I always get a kick out of it. I try to answer as many comments as I can. Sometimes I try to be funny. I don't mean to offend anybody. But if when I'm looking at the concept, if I think of something funny, I try to be funny. I do, but I appreciate everyone, even the people that disagree. Listen, I would rather have one person watch my video and leave a comment disagreeing with me than 100 people watching it that do agree with it, but don't like it, or don't leave a comment, or don't subscribe. Because it's the people that subscribe, it's the people that leave comments, the people that like it. That interaction helps the YouTube algorithm pick it up and say, hey, people are interacting with this video. I'm going to suggest it to more viewers. You live and die on the algorithm. Once YouTube stops suggesting your video to people, it dies. So even the people that disagree with me, if they leave a comment, I appreciate it. And if they do it respectfully, then great. I'm not going to get into a flame war with anybody. I appreciate them taking the time to leave a comment. Sometimes, some of them can be a little nasty, but that's okay. That comes with the territory. If you don't like that, don't post videos. Don't put yourself out there. And, those people that are negative, don't give them more attention and time than you give to the people that are positive and supportive. I had one comment and it just kind of set me off, and I spent 10 minutes writing this long-winded reply to it. And in the end, I ended up deleting it. And I was like, don't go there. And spend that time with the people that are positive and that support the channel. So thank you for everybody that has subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate it. And I'll keep posting videos. I'll keep doing the AMC stock story. And who knows, maybe Disney will buy AMC. Maybe they won't. Maybe Apple's going to buy Disney. I don't know. Maybe Amazon, is going to work out a deal with AMC. To me, my honest opinion, there's one company that should buy AMC, and it's Disney. There's so much that Disney could do with these locations that it makes sense. I can't see, and listen, I can't see Paramount buying AMC. I can't see Warner Brothers buying AMC. Universal, possibly, just because they have a theme park and they have a little more like the Minions merchandise and stuff. But AMC is the one company I think say, you know what, that makes sense. What they can do with this is amazing. It'd be kind of like, there's a piece of land, right? And there's a little business, I don't know, let's just say for the lack of a better word, like a little ice cream shop on this land. And the ice cream shop is not doing very well. But the land itself is valuable. The right company buying that land, buying that shop, they could turn that around as opposed to another person that wouldn't be a good fit. So we'll see what happens in the future. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching. And please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. And like I said, anytime you like it, anytime you comment, anytime you share a video or post it on Twitter, that just helps the cause, brings more attention to AMC. In this association, with Disney buying AMC, maybe that gets some positive buzz going for AMC. And I appreciate that. But I sincerely believe both companies would be better off joining together. Don't ask me how, because there could be some reasons why they can't do it. Financially, it's a lot of it, employees, but Disney's used to having a lot of employees with the parks. But it's a big deal to come together. But to me, I always say, does it make sense? Could you double Disney? Could you bring Disney to the people? So that's why I started this campaign, the Disney buys AMC. And we'll see where it leads. I'm just very happy to have gotten the support that I have, and I really appreciate it. I hope this becomes a channel where you can come and see positive, videos about being an AMC investor, and that's what I hope I can bring to you in the future, regardless if Disney buys AMC or not. So we'll see. I hope you stick around. Thanks for watching, everybody. And who knows, maybe if Disney buys AMC, that could cause the MOAS, and maybe that will be the next episode of the AMC stock story.